we don't even get evaluated well if we have a bunch of warnings and a less amount of tickets.
Unchecked authority often leads to justice collapsing, and that is exactly what happened with these tyrant cops. But the truth caught up quickly, and the courtroom humbled them, just like this tyrant who was caught writing false tickets.
I've always tried to keep my tickets kind of bound with my warning.
In July of 2024, Arkansas State Trooper Legarian Cross unlawfully pulled over an individual and issued him a ticket. The citizen contested it and filed a complaint, triggering an internal investigation.
What's been going on with you in writing certain warnings, and how many? And just kind of let us know.
6 to 8 months ago, I went to a roller paper style instead of the style putting inside of the printer. I went to a roller style. When we first had those roller paper, it was kind of at the troop headquarters. We were kind of short on paper. So I was speaking to another trooper, and he advised me, man, a lot of times I don't give out paper to people for warning. I just give them paper for citations. So at that time, I took that method up as well, started doing that. And at the same time, when I took that method up, I became lazy and stuff like that, and not explaining to people that I have given them a warning.
The trooper thought he would get away with writing unlawful tickets like he used to, but he had no clue he had messed up with the wrong person. Keep watching. Detective completely owns him.
If you never asked for the registration, they didn't give it to you, what was your reason for even printing it?
I don't have a reason. I guess because when I was sitting there, I was like, well, I don't have the registration card. I click on it and give me the registration card and just get a warning out of it. But other than that, I don't really have a reason to. Because majority of the time, I asked them for the registration card, and if I didn't get it, I go back and write a warning. But I won't give them a copy or and explain to them that I gave them a warning.
It turns out the deputies have quotas to fill and would unlawfully write tickets without any fear. However, today, this tyrant was about to be exposed.
So every day you would generate a warning regardless of whatever they had or didn't have.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I just about every day. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like every stop I had, if I could stop them for speeding, I'll click. If they didn't give me the registration card, I'll click. There was a lot of times I did ask. I don't have an exact number, but I can also go back and watch some of my videos after all this came out. But some of them, a lot of them, I did ask for registration card, and they didn't provide it to me. And whenever they didn't provide it to me, I go back and I click for you display registration card. And but like I said, my mistake. I didn't explain to them that I gave them a warning for that.
The detective was taking him down and finally asking a direct question, which immediately exposed the corrupt practices inside the department.
So this became a habit of yours?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you intentionally doing this to pad your reports? To create more numbers?
I really won't know that. I think I just got reckless with it and just became a habit.
Explain that. What do you mean reckless with it?
Because I became lazy by not printing that paper off and taking the time out to explain to them, hey, ma'am, I gave you a warning for this, or I gave you a warning for that. I just give them a citation and go on by my day.
But you didn't have to provide that warning in every one of those situations, did you?
No, ma'am, and there were times I didn't.
Was there a need to even provide it, every one of those situations?
No, ma'am.
The worst part, the deputy still believes he did nothing wrong, showing just how deeply corruption is embedded in the department. This level of misconduct has gone unchecked for far too long.
What made you do it for some and not others?
I don't have a reason.
You didn't request their registration, so why would you think they would have a problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you think that was a problem?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
On whose part? Yours or theirs?
On my part.
Nothing. Because you had a high number of warnings as well. Is that something that you do? Provide a lot of warnings for speeding?
Yes, ma'am. I usually try to keep mine half and half on speeding on the contacts and also on warnings. But my warnings usually be failure to display registration or unsafe vehicle.
Okay.
This clown in the costume should no longer be a cop, and you will be stunned to hear what he has to say next.
Do you feel like you was falsifying information?
Yes, ma'am. After it belonged to me, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you think you violated policy?
Yes, ma'am.
You do? Which one?
The reports on inaccurate and stuff like that.
Okay. What about any citations? Did you ever falsify any
No,
citations?
never any of those.
And do you know if anyone else is doing anything like this?
I don't know anyone else that that's doing the same thing, won't advise them or stuff like that. But I do know that, I was, that.
The one thing that I'm trying to find out is were you doing this to increase your numbers of contact, or was it that they did have this violation?
Yes, ma'am. Well, and let me explain on that right there. Every time I did it, like when I asked for it. If I asked for it and I didn't get it, I would do it. But there was some times that I didn't even ask for it.
Right.
And I went back and I got back to my car, and it was my fault again. I was back there at the car, and I don't have it back there, so I don't have the registration card, and I just click, just get the contact.
The detectives opted for a short break and returned to ask them even more hard-hitting questions, to which the corrupt cop really had no answer, but only more weak excuses.
But there ever times that you were thinking that if I don't ask, then I have a contact, but if I ask, they may provide it and have it signed, and I won't be able to get a contact off of that one?
I never had that thought, because it was just a warning to me. We don't even get evaluated well if we have a bunch of warnings and a less amount of tickets.
Okay.
So I already know that. I try to always, if you go back and look at my record, I've always tried to keep my tickets kind of balanced with my warning, because a lot of times you get frowned upon if you got 140 warnings and 30 tickets.
Okay.
So I try to keep it. It won't never.
Okay.
So I try to keep it a little. Keep my stuff balanced. Just by getting that, I ain't gonna ask them for just get a contact. I already knew a warning ain't gonna really help me out too much,
right,
because they look at that. Well, you got 140 warnings, you got 30 tickets. I'm not gonna gain anything from me anyway.
It is truly sad to see the condition of this police department, and this is the reason why cops are hated all over the country. Desperate to save himself, Deputy Cross started throwing his entire department under the bus.
Every department, every troop I work for, they always look at, you got 130 warnings, you only got 35 tickets. I ain't gonna do it. Because I would try to keep it kind of balanced.
Did you think it was a problem even before this was brought to your attention?
To be honest with you, ma'am, I really didn't. I didn't think nothing about it. But I look back at it, yeah. If I got a warning, I want somebody to tell me, hey, I gave you a warning for not signing your registration card back. And there sometimes I did, tell them, hey, you need to sign this back. But majority of the time I didn't. And if I got that warning, I want somebody to tell me that, hey, man, sign the back of this, or you got a license plate lot at the back. Make sure you put above back there.
Okay, so you're not making a grade or anything like that. Got it.
The guy that trained me, he averaged 2.0 average. I averaged about a 1.2, 1.3, but when he trained me to look for everything, just to get more contact, stuff like that. It was just, if you're out here working, you might well go, if you're out here working, so.
Deputy Cross's nervous demeanor indicated that he had made quite a mess. The interrogation didn't just expose him, but revealed deep corruption within the entire department.
This is nothing new, nothing created.
No,
you weren't trying to pad your reports, trying to get more numbers. Are your numbers higher than most people?
No, ma'am, they're not. Drunks are.
Yeah.
But I think last month, even with this investigation started, I had a 1.1 average. I had 29 speeding tickets and 5 other arrests. So I had 35 arrests and only 120 warnings. So I know that won't give me a good rating. I know that. So I don't.
So what would be a good month for you?
A good month for me, I've been going through something here lately. I usually write 80 hard, and I turn around and maybe write another 150 warnings.
Okay.
So I end up that's 230 or something like that. I end up with like a 1.4. I used to run about a 1.4, 1.5 every month. And I guess it's always been that 1.0 average in my head. I was always told you gotta get 8 a day,
Right.
But
After the investigation, Deputy Cross was found guilty of tampering with evidence and writing false tickets. As a result, he was suspended for 10 days and barred from promotion for a year. Now, while this cop was exposed for corruption, this next one made the biggest mistake of his life, and the courtroom delivered his fate.
The thin blue line really is just the line.
On January 18, 2019, Officer Sanchez from the Newark Police Department pulled over Gregory Griffin for speeding. Little did she know this simple traffic stop would turn into something bizarre.
Turn off the car.
What?
Turn off the car.
What?
Sir, turn off the vehicle. Turn off the vehicle, sir. Turn it off. Turn off the car and roll down the window. Open the door. Get me that other unit. Open the window. Open the door.
What's up?
I got a 646. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Hands. Hands on the wheel. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands.
The officer was aggressive, and as she demanded ID from Griffin, he ended up doing something silly.
Hands on the wheel. The car's off. Be advised, the vehicle took off. Thomas in Pennsylvania. Zulu 21 Kilo uniform.
Rookie officer Giovanni Crespo directly fired at the car without taking any precautionary measures. Fortunately, none of the bullets hit Griffin, triggering a chaotic chase. Chase continued for a few miles and the officers could not control the overspeeding Griffin. Then Crespo got close to the car and did something shocking, an action that would change his life forever.
It should be under his leg.
Does anybody fires a weapon here?
No here, not here.
Delta 91 go.
This time, one of Crespo's bullets struck Griffin in the head, killing him on the spot. To make matters worse, another bullet hit the passenger, leaving them severely injured.
599, you're chasing? Did you shoot?
No, I didn't shoot. Who shot?
Who shot?
Crespo shot. Crespo shot. No, they shot. Crespo shot, and they're gone. Who's dead? No, he just pulled off on me. Pennsylvania and Thomas is where I pulled him over. No.
Was that a motor vehicle stop or was that a foot chase?
No, motor vehicle stop. I pulled him over.
Okay, who you with?
By myself.
Okay.
Even the fellow cops could not believe what Crespo had just done. There was no need to fire your gun, and it was later revealed that the officer ended up firing 8 shots in 3 intervals.
Cars going down Pennsylvania. It was going way too fast. So
you pulled it over as a 521?
Pulled it over as a traffic stop.
Okay.
Just as a traffic stop. Just because he was going too fast.
Okay.
I got behind him on Pennsylvania and Thomas at the red light. I was waiting for the light to turn green. I thought he was going to pull over right on Pennsylvania. He kept going down Thomas, right on that little curb on Thomas. Pulled over right in front of the church. I got out, told him to turn off the car. He keeps telling me, why do I need to turn off the car? So I'm like, turn off the car, turn off the car. I go over 646, I got a man with a gun. The Delta unit puts up Moss and his partner. So I tell him he's got a gun, so they're like, Val, get him out. I go to open the door doesn't open, so I go in to open it from the inside, and he takes off.
Okay. Where's your car?
503, I was driving 503.
All right, let's see your car.
This led to an internal investigation, and Crespo was charged with aggravated manslaughter, aggravated assault, and official misconduct. Eventually, the case went to trial, and this is what Crespo's mother had to say to the judge before he announced his sentence.
And I got to Giovanni and made a promise to his mom that Giovanni was going to be the best that he could be. And she wanted me to raise him the right way, and I did my best.
I would just like to apologize for the event that occurred, to the victims, to my family that I put through, everybody that been going through hard times because of this. I took a chance at a job where it's life or death every day. And the thin blue line really is just the line.
Despite the officer's tears, the judge ended up sentencing him to 27 years in prison. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today we witnessed tyrant cops getting sentenced and brutally exposed. These reckless officers were humbled and given a lesson they won't forget. Hopefully others take note and start taking some sort of accountability. And if you believe in justice being served, please support us by liking this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, watch how these tyrant cops were caught in the act and humbled by higher authority.
If you think that's okay and you're comfortable with that, you're gonna have to do another job, man.